Amazing.
There we go. I think we're live now.
This is so cool. All
You
right.
like it?
I do. This just saves so much time.
We should have actually recorded this, how to stream live on Facebook using Zoom.
We'll do that for our next one.
There we go. Okay. And we did that before, but we forgot to record it.
It's always the best content when it's just instant like that.
Now, look, I thought we'd talk about today, Claudio. Just wanted to share with our audience. You and I are both members of the Partnership Club with Michael Griffiths, who we met through. God, when was that, mate? That was a year ago? How long have you been a member now?
November. It's been since November now.
God, has it only been that long?
Mm-hmm.
Like fast friends.
I know,
obviously,
right?
Good people know good people, right?
That's it, exactly.
And so obviously one of the things around Partnership Club and what Michael teaches is all particularly around, I guess, establishing referral partnerships, isn't it?
Mm.
Okay. And I think we, as business owners, we know that referral business, whether it be from customers or from strategic partners, is always, I guess, one of the best ways to grow business.
100%. And I word of mouth has been the strongest thing, but you've always had that conversation where people be like, it's not fully reliable. You might not get a referral here or there. So that's the downfall part. But exploring the so many different avenues of what referral marketing does in that sense is just really opened my eyes personally. And then it goes deep into what we'll talk about from the automation perspective and how in depth you can go there. So this is going to be a great conversation we're going to have today. I'm excited.
Yeah, well, I think it's interesting because obviously everyone has got their own little thing, right? If I sell ads, right, forget referrals. They're so unreliable. You can't scale your business with referrals. And obviously, people who are super keen on referral business go, forget ads. Referrals are the way to go. Whatever. Okay, but look, let's realistically, if we only got one referral out of every single customer we have, right, just once a year, we would double our business in 1 year, and we 4x our business in 2 years, which is a pretty, you think, oh my God, if I was to 4x the size of my business right now within 24 months, that sounds a pretty daunting kind of goal. And I love what Michael teaches around referral partnerships, but I think there's a couple of things, and I've been doing networking events now for 17 years.
Wow.
Right. So 1 to 3 times a week I've been doing these networking events, which is kind of crazy when I think about how long that's been. But I wanted to share with our viewers today, anyone who's jumping in and watching, and I'm going to jump across to Facebook. So guys, if you're on Facey right now, throw your questions in the chat box, and we'll sort of get to those as we see them. But I think when we look at referral strategies as a way of growing our business, we don't always treat our referral strategies in the same way that we would treat other marketing channels.
Yep.
Right? You do your website, you maintain your website, you run ads, you're constantly going to review and check your metrics and performance of those ads and keep going, right? You're going to have a lot of different, you're going to kind of, I guess, invest in it. But often I think when we look at referral strategies, we think referrals will be great, but we don't really invest in our referral strategies in the same way that we would kind of our other marketing channels, do we?
Right. No, yeah, exactly.
Okay. And then kind of wonder why it doesn't work. All right. And then if you ask most people what the most effective, source of new business is, they'll always say referrals from customers or referrals from strategic partners are the best two sources, right? Closely followed by speaking on stage. And then, Facebook, TV, radio, print is all kind of well down the list in terms of effectiveness. And look, I remember seeing an article come out of the US a few years ago now that said, 80% of salespeople would say that referrals are their best source of new business. Right? Easiest to close. The salesperson's invariably just an order taker at that point. There's no convincing to be done, right? Because someone's already done the hard work. You've got this massive transferal of trust from whoever's referring you. And yet only 15% of salespeople have a systematic process to ask for referral, which strikes me as insane.
Yeah. Yeah. But I guess at the same time, I mean, because we're obviously in the space with the system space, I love that space. But for a lot of people, they don't or might not know that. It's not an awareness thing for them to know at how in depth that can go. So I think it would be incredible that we shed some light, especially from your end, because as you said, you've been doing this for 17 years, just in networking alone, and you are the systems guy and the automation. I reckon you're going to
Yeah.
teach me a
Okay.
lot of
So
stuff
what
as
I wanted
well.
to do, I wanted to share a couple of things with people today on how I do it. Right. So for me, my top two channels for bringing new business in is either referrals from customers and strategic partners like yourself. Right. We're having a aligned conversation. We're doing the work, etc. With the same client. And for me, content marketing is one of my other big channels. I can't say I haven't spent a single cent in advertising in 20 years, because I have, but it's only ever been retargeting ads. I've never spent money in direct outward cold advertising to an audience in 20 years, right? And lost count of how many millions of dollars that's sort of generated over that time. But, I haven't spent any money on ads in that time, I guess, right? So I think when you get it right, it can really work, right? And I want to share with people, I guess, my strategy here. And I've got a sort of a 5-letter acronym I do to start, not so much with customers, but certainly strategic partners in terms of, what we do there. Right? And the first of those, so the acronym is AQEST. Right?
Okay.
The Q's only recently been added. It was AEST, which I thought was nice and easy to remember on Australian Eastern Standard Time.
Right.
But I've added the Q in more recently. And the first one of those is to ask. And I think we end up just the first part, I guess, we just assume that that someone wants to refer to us, or they even are going to do the right stuff, right? And I think we often ask the wrong thing, right? Anyone who's been to a BNI meeting, I think you're a BNI member, right? You're not going to get many referrals from the naturopath in your group, being a sort of digital graphic design website sort of guy, branding guy, simply because it's not that naturopath can't refer to you, and spending time with that naturopath won't pay off in some capacity, but it's never going to pay off in the same way that someone who has the same conversation with the same client as you. Right? So, because a naturopath's going to be talking to their clients around sort of the amount of cauliflower they eat, and right, whether they're getting iron in their diet and stuff, right? And they're not specifically targeting business owners, right? So in your case, they're not specifically targeting business owners, right? So we're spending time with someone who's never really going to meet our ideal client, or be in a conversation with our ideal client that makes it very easy for them to segue and introduce us. So, if we're looking at who we should be asking people who have our customer, have the same sort of conversation, but don't do what we do. Now, if you're in business right now, which many of us in this group are, we often talk about the fact that, we want accountants. Accountants, of course, accountants have businesses. But if that accountant is not having that conversation, right? If they're just tax compliance accountants, or they talk business advisory, but never really talk marketing, or talk leadership, or talk team development, or whatever your area of expertise is, copywriting, you're going to find it you'll find that they're a good partner, but they're not giving you many opportunities. Right? So the first thing is to ask the right people who want it. All right. Second part, the Q is to qualify them. Now, an accountant who is talking about those things, right? You've got to find someone who's actually doing the work that helps promote you to their network. Right? So is that person running events? Do they regularly email their database? Are they having that broader conversation, not just focused on what it is they do?
Yep.
Right? So when I talk to my clients, I'll say, I'll certainly have a look at what they're doing on their website and say, who's your web developer? And they'll go, I don't have one, right? Or I do have one, or I just recently refreshed my website. it's very easy for me to that point to say, hey, well, I know a guy, we're going to have to do some integration work between the automation and lead management side of things and your website. Right? I'll look at people's social media and say, I can see you're not doing a lot of social media. Do you have someone working on that strategy for you?
Exactly.
Yes or no, right? It makes it a very easy, conversation, because that actually means that my client is going to get a better outcome from what it is that I'm doing. It makes it very easy for me to introduce them. Yeah. Now, if that social media person I'm referring to is having the same conversation as I am, and they're going, well, we've got lots of traffic here. Do you have a CRM? Do you have the strategies in place to kind of, capture and convert and manage those leads that our social media is developing? Yes, no. Well, you need to talk to Tim, because all the work we do is going to be better if we do his stuff as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've got to qualify our people. Now, the other three, I'm going to show you some automation shortly, because I want to show you how I do it. The other three is about educating. We've got to educate our referral partners who it is, what we do. We've got to stay top of mind with our referral partner. And we've got to treat the referrals that they give us with the respect and I guess, I can't think of the word I'm looking for here. I guess the reverence that we would in I guess, respect of that relationship that they have. Right? They are trusting us not to fuck up.
Yeah.
Right, with their relationship, because no one wants to be that person that says, that guy you referred me to, yeah, he was a bit of an ass.
Yeah, exactly, 100%.
And you're like, oh shit, I'm so sorry. No one wants to have that conversation with their client, with their friend, with their their colleague, and so on. Okay, so I'm going to jump into look. I use Infusionsoft by Keep for mine. It doesn't really matter what system you use to do that, but the first two things, okay, social media is a fantastic place to find referral partners, as are networking groups that you can go to, right? Now, the next part, I guess, I'm just going to share my screen here so people can see it, right? If we come into sort of that education stage, is, showing people what you do. Now, this is something that you and I have both stolen from Michael Griffiths, and that is our partner referral guide. Now, this is mine. I've made it look a bit pretty. There's me back when I had hair. But it talks about, who I am, where to find me, why do I do what I do, a little bit of background about who I am. Right, now, some people might think this is a bit long, but too bad. What's my goal?
Essentially, it is another form of being able to have a conversation with someone without you essentially being there. Like, this is one form, and yes, people will read. Other forms, you could even turn, like, the referral guide in itself can be turned into a video base for someone who just wants to watch something in 2-3 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that still saves your time there as well, while building that up too. So
absolutely, right? I find doing that is not just a case of flicking across the fence and saying, here's my referral guide, or here's my, my why video. It's a good idea to sort of follow up with that and have a sort of deeper conversation about, okay, well, you mentioned in here that you want people who have a CRM or have one but not using it, sort of stuff. Feeling overwhelmed with your marketing, don't know what to do, right? Want to know more about them. Tell me more about the machine process that you use, Tim, right? And I find this is a really effective way of actually starting to educate your referral partner on not just who you work with and how you work with them, but also the kind of conversations that you're going to have with them that identify a good referral partner, right? So I have a what's in it for you, right? Here are some questions, right? Ask these questions, listen out for, don't really know. Okay, and then a bunch of other stuff, right? And of course, then we sort of finish off with this, right? Well, I know someone is really good at that. Can I make that introduction, right? We got to teach our referral partners how to make that segue conversation, right? Now, that's the education stage. The next part is sort of how we stay top of mind. Now, I'm just going to jump into here. This is my referral partner campaign. So as I bring new people in, I have this sequence of activity, right, that starts to just touch base and show them how to do what it is that I do. Right? So there's a little bit of an initial education process. And then we stay top of mind. Now, mine's a little bit stupid, a little bit silly. I'm going to zoom out here. Hopefully you can see that, right? This is my referral partner management sequence. Okay.
The depth
Oh, they'll know. Oh, the crazy. This is the crazy automation guy doing lots of silly stuff, right? But again, we want to be top of mind. Now, if you're in a networking group, the way you create top of mind presence with your referral partners is being in the same room every time. Now, I see all the time people that join networking groups and then don't show up for months at a time. Now, if you're doing that, you are not going to be top of mind when that referral partner is having a conversation and goes, oh, there's a problem. Right? Now, if they don't think of you in that moment, your referral process breaks.
Yep.
Right? So I know, Claudio, when you have conversations with your clients, you now start asking, if you're doing some website stuff, you now start asking, do you have a CRM system? Is it really effective? And if the answer is no, you go, Tim.
Yep. And it's interesting you say this though, because we're always looking at fine tuning on how can we better educate, obviously in layman's terms too, because for a lot of people, they're going to be expertise in their business and not so need to know all the stuff of everything else. But how do you also use a CRM to establish that knowledge and start introducing? So prime example for us is, without really costing anything except for the initial setup, one thing that we did was we started, part of our 8-week post-development process was educating the different elements of growing and utilizing a website build. Because, yeah, all right, you've got the website, but what about the CRM? And in the irony in that is, I'm using a CRM to educate you better and to give you more value without me costing anything.
That's right. Okay. And this is where the no cost thing comes into, right? Now, obviously, look, it's not entirely no cost because you do have to set up this framework, right? And it doesn't have to be as excessive as the one I've done, right? But what I'm doing in this process, this reaches out to my referral partner probably every, 5 to 8 days. I'm doing something with one of my referral partners. And the cool thing about automating the process is that I'm actually creating a system to stay top of mind with my partners. Right? So when I have my first conversation with them, I say, this is how, if you refer me, this is how I work with clients. Right? I love to get on a call together to start with. I'll keep you in the loop. I'll, let you know when we've got an appointment. I'll let you know if we're going ahead or not. I'll even come back and say, yes, that was a good referral, or no. And this is why, because I want to continue that education process. Right? But this one here, it sort of reaches out. I said it's every sort of 5 to 8 days, sometimes a little bit more, I think. And it does different stuff, right? And I think the mistake we make, on the automation side of our CRM is thinking that automation just means email, and it means impersonal email, and it doesn't. So a good marketing automation system will allow you to change up the type of communication and build a workflow into your system to create the appearance of personalization, even though you're not necessarily doing it.
So say, let's go with layman's terms of what you just said there. What would be an example of, a demonstration of that?
Okay, well, let's run through mine, okay? So the first one is that I will send an email to my new referral partner to say, just wanted to reach out. How can I help you this week? Nothing more. Nice and simple, 9-word. Claudio, how can I help you this week? And you may or may not reply to that. If you do, great. I'll go and see if I can find a way to help you. I want to build that relationship bank by offering to help first. It's not all take. We've got to give. We've got to put money into this relationship bank. Second one, I think I said, is me asking the same. I'm asking for an introduction. I said, hey, look, I've just finished some work with this client. I've got some capacity right now. If you know anybody who's looking for this particular thing, I'd love an introduction.
Yep.
All right. The next one, now you'll notice here I've got some little email opens. Right. See little email open triggers. I'll come back to those in a sec.
Okay.
What those are. Next one, I send a task off to my VA, and I get my VA to jump onto your social profile and go and like a couple of posts or comment on them. Next one, I might go and endorse you for a particular skill on LinkedIn.
Right.
Okay. Again, you're starting to say, hey, you're promoting me. Now, obviously, if you've got something that's really relevant and really good, I will share your post with my network. And we come back to that qualification process. Are you promoting stuff to your network on a regular basis already? A good referral partner will be doing that. not only your own stuff, but they'll also promote other people's stuff. Because now when I get down to this point in here, you notice there's a couple of different ones. That's because it rotates through, it changes the communication strategy each time. It will say, hey, would you mind sharing one of my lead magnets? Now, for the uninitiated, a lead magnet is just a resource that says this has got some really good value, and that will start to fill my database of new prospects. Right now, they go through their own process separately from this, but I'm giving you the script that says, hey, Claudio, trying to build my opportunities this week. Can you help me out by sharing my lead magnet? This one's the 25 things that every small business should automate. What I've done, I've just copied a bit of script below. It'd be awesome if you could email it to your database. If you can't, a social media share would be great too. Just cut and paste, change up if you need to. Cheers, buddy. Let me know if there's anything that can help you too. Now, if I've got, 10 referral partners, each of you have got a modest database of say 1,000 people, or a couple of thousand sort of social media followers, and you post that resource, there's going to be a percentage of those people out there in your list who are at that point going, actually, that looks really interesting, I'll grab that. Mm-hmm. And those are the people who are starting to bubble to the surface. They're not necessarily ready to buy, but they are kind of like, yeah, I'd actually like to see how I can automate my business. Give me some ideas.
Yep.
And they go, yep, I'm going to grab that. Now, if I just had 10, right, I think I've got a few more than that now, but if I just had 10 people in that, sharing it to 1,000 people each, right, that's 10,000.
Mm.
Right? What's the, even if there's only 1% of those people who are in that frame of mind, they go, yeah, I'd love to see how I can automate my business today. That's 100 new opportunities that my partners have just created for me.
Mm.
Right?
Incredible.
At that point in time. Now it's 100, right? If you've got a bigger database, right? LinkedIn's got a sort of limit of 30,000 connections. Right? Well, how many people out of 30,000 are going to be interested? How many, if I've got 3 or 4 people who have got 30,000, in their network, go, yep, that looks pretty good. Okay. Now I'm mixing this up. I've got some text messages. I've got tasks in there. I've got, activities where I pick up the phone and just say, hey, how's it going? Right. As well as sharing emails and texts and different stuff. Right. So it changes it up each time. Now I've done something a little bit silly here, that I've got this little, email opens.
What do they do?
I've actually got a referral quality score.
I'm
using a product called Plus This, which plugs into Entreport and Active Campaign and Infusionsoft, which allows me to do some math computations. So when you first come in, I give you a score of 20. If you don't open one of my emails, after a period of time, you get your points deducted.
Well, it's smart. It's the same thing as if you're doing it in person. You have a meeting with a new referral partner or potential referral partner, and it's just not in alignment or you essentially are doing your own points or deduction there. You're not going to do another meeting. All you've done is you've just saved 30 minutes of time of just and a one avenue. Obviously, there's going to be that element to it. But if I had the opportunity to be able to have 10 potential referral partners in a single week, opposed to 10 1-hour long conversations in a single week, I would rather have 1 hour long conversation with one person while 10 of them are shifting through 3 ideal people that then I can have ideal conversations anyway.
That's right. That's right. So when someone gives me a referral, they get a boost. I actually record that they've given me a referral, so I can actually go and see the conversation history and say, cool. Hey, Claudio gave me a referral. Great. Your referral quality score goes up. But if I'm trying to communicate to you, offering help and asking for help, and you're not opening my correspondence, well, your referral quality score is going to go down. And eventually, if someone sort of gets to 0, I was like, well, hey, what's the point in having you as a partner, right? I'm calling you and you're not answering, or the relationship's clearly not working. Yeah. Now, it gives us, I guess, that trigger that we can say, let's have a look at why this isn't working. Yeah. Maybe their business has gone in a different direction. Maybe they're just not having those conversations, right? And you can start having that conversation. And I think it's good to kind of refresh your referral partners on a regular basis. Yep. Work out which relationships do you need to focus on and which ones do you not.
Cool.
Right? So I mean, that's the complex version. The simple version is just down here, right? So let me just zoom in down here. The simple version is this one, where literally all I do is raise a task periodically, and every 10 to 15 days, it sends me a text message and says, time to touch base with Claudio and do something. Now, it might be, again, could jump onto LinkedIn, like your post, put a comment on it. Right? I could call you. I could send you a text message. I could do nothing if I just spoke to you yesterday. Right? So again, what we're doing is we're using our automation systems to, I guess, drive the human behavior that we want behind making our referral partnerships and relationships work.
Yeah. So I want to elaborate on that too, because that was awesome. Thanks for sharing that, Tim. I think that's valuable. I'll probably reshare this video so people understand exactly what you've just shown. A lot of it, because obviously I'm passionate about referral marketing, especially when you do something that you are really good at and you have great reputation, great credibility, then word of mouth is the go-to. Why make sales even harder and all that? So what you've just shared is incredible. That's a great way of like that particular system on how do I get business for me. But one of the key things about with referral marketing is how can I be so effective using a CRM at giving other people? So giving more. What would you? How would you put that together? Or what would you say how a CRM could work effectively in that sense?
I think it's that same thing. It's and that's something I'm building out. I've got a sort of paper process at the moment, but one of the things I'm going to be doing with my referral partners and saying, just fill out this form, right? I'd love to be able to kind of give you more business. Right? I'm meeting people all the time. If I look at just what happened overnight, I think I've had 36 new friend requests going on Facebook since last night, right? Which is slightly crazy when I consider it's only sort of 12:30 in the afternoon now.
Yeah, exactly.
That if we start to sort of reach out and say, put those kinds of things into our CRM system, right? Who is an ideal referral to you? Pick 2 or 3 categories. Let's create a field that says I'm looking for this, as these are people I can help, and record that information in our CRM about our referral partners. Right? Our brain is fallible. We can't remember a huge amount of information, right, if it's not top of mind. But we can use our CRM system, right, to, again, CRM, right, relationship management. Manage that relationship. Record that data about our referral partners. And so when we go back into our list, and that's why I've introduced this referral quality score, that I can go and say, I'm looking for, in my network, my referral partners, and they're tagged with referral partner, who deliver web design, right? And I can actually pull those people up and I can see their referral quality score and I can see who I've referred to recently.
Right.
And so now when I'm having that conversation, I go, shit, I need to find a web developer. Now, if you're doing the work, you should be top of mind with me because I'll go, Claudio is, the branding guy. But if it's not an area I necessarily have, a huge number of, a massive sort of top of mind presence with 1 or 2 partners, I can actually use my CRM to filter out my referral partners by different groups. What it is that you do, right? Who is it that you serve? And I can start to sort of search in my database for people and I can make introductions to.
Right.
All right. And again, if I wanted to, I can build an automation that then reaches out to you, either text message or whatever, that says, hey, Claudio, I just met a client who I think might be a good fit for you. Are you taking new business right now?
It is brilliant.
Right. Now, again, that's an automated message.
Yeah.
It's going to send another follow-up if you don't get the first one. Then it's going to send another follow-up if you don't get the second one. And of course, you're going to come back to me and say, yes or no, I am taking new business. Right now, immediately as a referral partner, you're going, holy shit, Tim, that's really awesome. Thanks for thinking of me. No worries. And then I'll make the introduction between, prospect and you. And at some point, you're going to, if I'm doing that a few times, you're going to go, all right, we have this law of reciprocity. You're going to think, holy shit, I really need to do something for Tim in return.
100%.
Okay. And you'll start to go looking for opportunities as a result.
Yep.
All right. And again, the more we use our CRM and our tech to kind of drive that process, the easier it is we're going to find it to do.
This was incredible. I'm glad we did this live. Oh, wow.
Okay. And if you're wondering why your referral partnerships are not working for you, is because you're not being the kind of referral partner that somebody else wants.
Spot on. Yep.
Right. So we've got to go back and look at our behaviors. What do we want from our referral partners? Consistency, openness, proactive, right? Relationship. Okay. It's all encapsulated in the word partner, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. And what that actually means.
So let's say I was let's say I am a referral partner, or I've got referral partners, and I really want to bring awareness to see what areas can I improve on that will make me light up. What would you like? What are 3 things that you could come up with that say, okay, cool, this is how I could personally use a CRM or a digital or tech or a system in place that can make me a better.
Look, let's bring it back to be simple. Okay. Now, if you wanted to go and build the sort of stuff that I build for people, you certainly can, right? But I think the easiest way to do it, and I've got different gaps between it, so it doesn't seem like it's automated, right? Sometimes it's 3 days, some 5, some 7, some 15, blah, blah, right? So, but the easiest way to do it is just to kind of actually start to show interest, right? Firstly, start to show interest in what it is they do. Reach out and say, just checking in. I want to know who I can introduce you to. I've met lots of people, and I always get emails back, right, in response to my automated emails, saying this is who I meet, right? This is who I'm looking for connections right now. It's always coming from a place of gratitude.
Yep.
Right. So they're always going, wow, thanks very much. I really appreciate you offering, and that just allows me to kind of introduce them to to a webinar or to a networking group or to something, right? I got you along to one of my networking groups the other day, and you've got to meet lots of people in my network.
That's been huge. I keep getting emails about introducing collabing. My calendar's booking out just from that one thing. Yeah, 100%.
Right. So and you're now like, holy shit, that those opportunities are now permanently attached to the fact that I invited you to them. And say, wow, thanks very much for opening that door for me, Tim. Right. So that's the first thing, right? Second thing, I think, if you're not going to use your CRM and automation system for it, just use your calendar, right? Go and create a recurring appointment in your calendar to reach out to your referral partner and offer some assistance. It doesn't matter what it is, offer some form of assistance.
Yep. That's an easy one. That's an easy one for a lot of people to start on.
An easy one, okay? Now they're going to go, well, you always seem to post on my, on my wall on the 6th of the month. Right? But again, look, that's a very simple way of doing it, right? That you've got to go and say, reach out and do something. Invite them to coffee, invite them to an event, share something, post on their wall, like or share a post, right? I mean, if you think about, if someone jumps on one of your posts that you've put up, and gives you a bit of a horn toot and says, like, I've just seen this post from Claudio, I've just seen this post from Martine, and I wanted to share it with you because it's got some really fucking valuable information in it, right? You or Martine or whoever is sitting there going, oh, really, you're just giving me the shout. It makes them feel good, gives them that dopamine hit. And they're like, awesome. And if you start doing that a few times, they're going to say, well, they're going to feel like they've got to do something for you in return.
100%.
Entirely altruistic, we know. But if it's really good content and you're sharing it with your network, great. Okay, your network is benefiting as well.
Yeah, big time. Just like I'm going to just share this video to all my referral partners and be like, hey, this is what you need to understand and learn to be better referral partners. Yeah, why aren't you doing this? Watch this. And then all of a sudden I'm front of mind there too. Perfect example of consistency.
Yeah, that's right.
I love that.
We've got to do that, right? So again, we've got to be that consistent. We've got to be top of mind. Too often I see referral partnerships break because we should be referral partners. We have a constant conversation. It's all exciting. Look, everyone watching this at some point will have been to a coffee meeting. Said, yeah, I reckon there's opportunity for us to work together. And 6 months later, you're going, who was that guy? Right, you've done that. You've been there, right? I have as well. But by doing this, by putting it into a system that says, okay, you need to kind of reach out to so and so today. you're actually kind of using the tools and systems that we've got available to us to kind of continue to grow a business, right? To manage more relationships. The whole point of a CRM and the automation side is a sort of separate component of that, is to help us manage their relationships, right? It's the little, aide de camp who sort of sits on your shoulder as you wander around the, high-powered ballroom and says, oh, that's Senator so-and-so, and his wife's name is this, and they've got 3 kids, and so-and-so's just got into college, and right, you've seen that in the movies, right?
Yeah.
Our CRM is that for us. And like I constantly see people go, oh my God, it's so expensive. It's so, it's expensive to have a CRM. This is your brain. This is the brain of your business. And the more you invest in the brain of your business, the better it will function.
100%.
Just like our own brains.
Yep.
Okay. The better our business will function, the more we invest into this space.
Well, for those just who might not be fully convincing, we can use another analogy, which I love using. It's the same thing if you have a team and you're investing in a team. Your team helps you scale your business and grow. It costs money to have a team. It does. I know that very well. But it also buys me a lot of time to do other things, so that then with the more money that I make, I can put into more systems and more growth, and then and the result, the ultimate result, is buy even more time back, so I can do even more things. So essentially, all this is just another form of having a system in place that you pay for, but you buy more time back, so you can do activities that make you more money.
Well, and you enjoy.
And you love it, yeah. You enjoy it, yeah, 100%.
Right, and that's the thing, right? We've got to get out of this area where this routine manual tasks. When I do an analysis for a client, I'll typically say that writing an email to a client takes about 5 minutes of effort time.
Big time, right? Yep.
Now, you may think it doesn't take me that long to write an email. It only takes me 60 seconds to bang out an email to a customer. Right? But the reality is, it actually takes you 5 minutes of time, because you actually, our focus is lost. Because we're doing one activity and then we come on to the next activity and then we come on to the next activity. So every time I write an email from someone, I've got to think who they are, where they're at. I kind of lose momentum on my previous task. Yes, I've got this little work time in the middle, right? But 5 minutes of duration has gone by to write one email.
Yep.
Now, if you can use your automation and using your CRM to kind of track and manage what information we're recording against our customer.
That's brilliant.
Use our automation to create the personalization on that.
Yep.
And all of those emails in mine are all automated. The SMSs are automated. Personalized. Not automated, personalized. Right?
You just gave me a great idea
you've done
that
before.
too. Yeah.
Right? So if I'm now recording the fact that you're in branding, right? What I will do in my template that reaches out to you, I'll say, hey, insert first name. Like, I've just been having a conversation with a client I think you might be able to work with. Are you looking for more? Insert like expertise, merge field, clients. All right. So yours will be, hey, Claudio, right? Just been met with a client, I think might be a good fit for you. Are you still looking for more branding clients? Right? But the same one to me would say, hey, Tim, are you looking for more automation clients? Right? So, we look at this is what we would do anyway. This is how our brain works. We template out the response. We're just teaching our technology to do that on our behalf and giving us that huge leverage. Right? It's taking that 5-minute task and condensing it down into a 2-second task. And that 5 minutes, every time we do it, over 12 months, that massively adds up. And when I say, look, if you jump on my Facebook profile, you'll see I say that, I can save someone 500 hours a year. This is how we save someone 500 hours a year.
I love it. Cool. This was awesome. Where do we go from here, Tim? Like, what do we leave our listeners with?
Well, if you want to reach out, absolutely jump onto winmoreclients.com.au/connect. You'll find ways to connect with me there. If you're in the Facebook group, just jump into in your digital vigilance delta, jump on the comments below there. I'm going to share this video with a couple of groups as well. Right? So if you've got any questions or comments,
it's a brilliant video.
Just tag me in it so I know that you've made a comment or question. Chuck it below, and I'll jump into them.
Love it. Thanks so much, Tim. Always
All
love
right.
doing this with you. This is great.
No worries.